So let's go ahead and talk about the freelancer point of view, bidding for jobs, and what you need to know before you actually get started onto bidding for jobs on freelance websites. Before you begin to jump on the bandwagon, you need to know a few things so that you can be more efficient. You know what to expect, you have stuff ready in your head to go, and if you know all this stuff, I guarantee you that you will be able to save time and increase your bid acceptance, which I'll talk about in video 4. The question is, what specific market are you going into? What I want you to do is take out a piece of paper and begin to brainstorm. Write out the strengths that you have, write out the weaknesses, so that you can determine what specific market you want to go into. And being specific, the more specific you are, the higher conversion rate you get. So let me give you an example here. Let's say, for example, that you're a designer. What you need to do is list out all the things that you can do. So let's say you're a designer. You can do banners, headers, logos, templates, squeeze pages, landing pages, e-covers, and mini sites. Now, these are specific markets. But as far as banners go, headers go, you can get even deeper and even specific into those. Like e-covers, there are different types of e-covers that you can design: DVD e-covers, ebook e-covers, and other types of e-covers. So what I'm trying to do is make you think about what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. When you know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, that allows you to approach your buyers with confidence whenever you bid, and approach your buyers with better detail as to what you can do good and what you're weak at. Because believe it or not, the buyers can see that. If you give a portfolio and you're not upfront about your strengths and weaknesses when you actually bid on a project, when they look at your portfolio, they themselves can see your strengths and weaknesses. If they see that you're honest and they can see your strengths are compatible with their project, then of course they're going to more likely go with you. Because you want to gain the trust between the buyer and the freelancer. Both sides need to gain trust. It's not just one way. But for you as a freelancer, you need to gain their trust. And of course, you want to ask yourself, how competitive is that market? So you can think competitive, but at the same time, you can think, how can you get yourself out there? Sometimes the more competitive is, the harder you work, but at the same time, people can spot you in the competitive areas because that's where people are going to. For example, scriptlance.com. If I type in the word mini site, I can guarantee you that I will not get that many projects. In fact, I only see one here in a website for a book. Most people on Scriptlance aren't looking for mini site designers. Some of them are, but most of the time they're looking for programmers. That's why it's called scriptlance.com, as in script. However, there are still people who go to scriptlance.com to look for a mini site designer. I used to go to Scriptlance, Rent-A-Coder. I didn't know which place specialized in different areas. And because of that, you can actually grab onto people like me who didn't know and are looking for people to design mini sites. For example, even though this is the only project out there, if you scroll down, you'll notice that there are approximately over 10 different people bidding on these. What you can do is you can look at their feedback. Basically see what these people have done in the past. If they do design work, like cream designers, go to this person, we can see buyers that possibly are looking for page templates, website template designs, website redesign, so that you can just get a good idea as to what people are looking for. And just by glancing over this, it looks like a lot of people mainly are looking for simple web designs and template designs. They're not really looking for banners, the headers, the logos. They're looking for templates. So if you do enough research, you'll notice that scriptlance.com, most people want templates and landing pages. So you know that if your strengths are in templates and landing pages, then by all means go to scriptlance.com. And it doesn't look like there's a lot of demand for the other types of design material. So that's what I want to teach you in this video. What to expect, and most importantly, how to gauge the competitiveness of a market and how to find people. Digital Point Forums is one of the good places that I use. I only go to Digital Point mainly, and what I do is I go to their contest area and I view which people who have submitted their contest. Even these people didn't win. Like if I look at this, for example, and I find somebody who didn't win, I go through these pages to look for people who have designs that can fit my needs, and I contact them. So even though you don't win in these situations, a lot of times Digital Point Forums, you get your name out there and people do view the contest pages. So you can use that specific method to find your future customers and get your name out there. With that said, let's move on. In this part, I want to talk about the customer. Understanding the customer, how they act, how they react to different things. So before you actually jump on the bandwagon, I want you to know what customers want in general. What are they looking for in general? Remember that most customers are business owners. So they're either looking to outsource their business operations, find somebody who can fit in, so that as a business owner, as you know, wears many hats. You have to do so many different things. So that's probably what customers are looking for the most part. They're looking for people who can complete jobs either for work for hire, which basically means that you hire somebody and you get full rights. If you do work for hire and you create a program and you give all the rights to that customer, of course you know that you're going to need to charge more. If they just want it for personal rights, then you charge less. So you need to know these things so you can charge more or charge less. Now you need to make sure that you read each site's terms and conditions, or the FAQ, for the freelancer, because different sites have different rules. For example, scriptlance.com. As the buyer, we can't go out and create projects and say, hey, if you do this project, I'll give you more projects later on from that project. You'd have to create more projects later on. So as a freelancer, you know that, and you know the customer's view and what the customer can and can't do, so you protect yourself at the same time. The next thing is to understand the customer's perception, how they think in your industry. In different industries, different customers think differently. They don't all think the same, but you need to understand, let's say for example, programmers. If I'm looking to hire a programmer, I might think differently than if I'm trying to hire a article writer. Article writers, I might be looking for long-term relationships, but I might be looking for more in a programmer. So I might be more pickier as to look for a programmer than an article writer. So, I need to understand different perceptions and in your specific industry. Understand that your bid will be rejected at some times in your freelance bidding career. That's just life, and that's part of the sales process. So make sure that you expect that, and in the next video I'll show you how to increase your bid acceptance so that you don't get rejected all the time, because you are competing with 10, 20, 30 different people who are bidding on the same project. And of course, know the difference between realistic customers and non-realistic customers. For example, I love to do the search. If I search for clone, you'll notice a lot of these people who basically want clones of MySpace or clone of this and that. And what they don't realize is that clones actually cost a lot more. So, for example, this person wants a mobilize clone. They're not being very specific and they're not being realistic. So as a freelancer, I would highly recommend that you avoid these types of projects, because in the end you're just going to be getting yourself into a mess. I've seen many of cases where somebody says, I want a clone of this, I want a clone of that, and their expectations once you produce the product, for $9,000, and let's say you're in the middle of the project, most of these people will say, wait a minute, I want this and that and this and that. That's not an exact clone of this and that. So I would recommend that you avoid anything that has the word clone in it, simply because these types of people are unrealistic customers. They don't exactly know what they want. And I know that's harsh to say, but it's realistic. So as a freelancer, protect yourself. Find customers who say that they want this, this, and this. They want A, B, and C, possibly D. But if you find people that say, well, I want a clone, and to you, this clone would be A, B, C, D, and E. But to this person, it could be through A to Z, different features. So you really have to figure out what these people really want. Otherwise, you're going to lose lots of time and waste hundreds of hours trying to figure out exactly what they want.